Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Steven.
And this is Scooby. Welcome to another episode of The Feedback, where us two, I was going to call us gentlemen, but last time I did that you were like, who are you calling gentlemen? Us two dudes who like to listen to music and talk about it, and then branch off into wherever our ADHD-riddled brains take us.
That's absolutely correct. We're back with another suggestion from me for you. I think that we're going to start getting a little bit further down the line of things that you might not have heard. I might stick on hip hop for a little while. Today, we're going to listen to a song called Air 'Em Out. It is a supergroup of Inspectah Deck. The supergroup is called Czarface. It is made up of Inspectah Deck and 7L, who are a duo, and Esoteric from Wu-Tang Clan. They formed this group in, I think it was 2013. This song comes off of their first album, which is self-titled Czarface. It is the second track on that album. I believe all three of them are the producers and singers or rappers, if you will, of this. I don't know what else there actually was with that. The one thing that I enjoy a lot, actually, pause. What do you know about Czarface or Wu-Tang or Inspectah Deck and 7L, if anything?
Things I know about the people you have mentioned. Number one, Wu-Tang is for the children. Number two, that's really about it.
You don't know that Wu-Tang is forever?
Wu-Tang, no? See?
Yeah.
I am not well versed.
Oh, man. Well, that's okay. You don't have to be. We're going to have some fun today. One thing about them that I like a lot is they are classified as more of an underground hip-hop group. I'm a fan of the fact that most of their stuff, if not all of their stuff that I have seen, after they release the album, they will also release an instrumental version. This way, if you want to sample it, or if you want to do something else with it yourself, or if you just want to rap over it on your own, they kind of leave it open for that, which I think is neat. It gives more people the opportunity to get that kind of a beat from somebody and give themselves a chance to kind of show off what they can do. Another fun thing about them that I think is a lot of fun for kind of reaching out and touching different fan bases and kind of growing their popularity is that they do a lot of comic book references and superhero references between all different kinds of things that exist and then ones that don't. The whole persona, Czarface, is actually a counterpart to the late MF Doom, because MF Doom kind of had that super villain vibe. Maybe Czarface was the villain. I might be getting it a little mixed up here on my side. I think MF Doom was supposed to be the hero. I might have got that mixed up on that. My apologies to anybody out there that is angry with me right now. But yeah, there's a lot of fun in this. Two of the members, 7L and Esoteric, are from Boston. So there's a lot of Boston sports references too, and sports references in general. There's lots and lots of layers to everything that's going on with what they're saying, so that makes it a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that we should get into it if you're ready. If you had any more thoughts or anything that you want to express beforehand.
I don't think so. I think I'm good. I am probably at least a little more familiar with MF Doom than I am with most rappers. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. I know a couple. I have at least heard more songs that MF Doom has featured on, because he did a lot of features back when he was still around. So, but
yeah, there's actually a couple albums where Czarface and MF Doom are collaborative as well. It's Czarface meets Metalface comes out in 2018, or came out rather in 2018, and that was MF Doom. They kind of talk to each other a lot, and like there's back and forth too. It's fun. Some of the intros and outros of the song too will kind of have the Saturday morning cartoon clips on there too. They'll have like that really like energetic, exciting music with like the guy yelling in the background. Some of them will be clips from that stuff too. So pay attention to that. See if there's any Easter eggs that you might hear or know of. This is Czarface, Air 'Em Out.
What do you think of my powers now?
When the twin powers activate, form of some fly shit. Yeah, I recognize Czarface. Come on.
He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out.
Yeah.
He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out.
He don't hear him out, he just air him out. He just fuck it up, it's like if really there's a doubt. The beat'll beat him down, it's leaking in your town. It's hotter than that summertime heat that's in the south. Hands up in the air, my fam up in the square. I'm dirty at the Grammys, crash your glamorous affair. Spazzing on the air, smashing with the flair. With the bad South American that's dancing in the chair. Get your weight up, my pay stuff's heavy like Dwight. Heads fight for what I said on the mic. Put your bread on the mic, ask around, clown rebel is nice. Fuck your money, I said it for spite. Son, I'm ready to strike, tear it down, I'ma tear it down. Them haters had a lot to say, I don't hear them now. I don't hear a sound, I just hear the crowd. I'm surgically performing like the doctor in the house.
He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out.
Put me on some anti-homicidal meds, so I ain't got a lot of feds. Whip axes by their heads, I'm Peter Parker by the legs. This is ultra violence, I tie him to the spider webs. Right forever, trying to keep it together like whites with dreads. Heavyweight, that's what the title says. Leave your limbless like a Pez. You can suck my dick, beat my nuts, psycho les. I put your beats like a psycho les. Every visual I spit's Trent when he's spent. Yeah, higher ends, out for the cream. We all about the dream. From shouting to the bean, y'all be bowing to the team. And now we on the scene, they wonder how it's a regime. Well, check the howitzer, gunpowder like Marines. I'll smack your face, bruise your ribs, crack a lace, brutal kid. Stay ahead of stakes like Medusa did. Lose your weight, act like you sitting down to dinner. I'll remove your lid, prove I'm big, air him out. We don't care who it is.
He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out. He just hear him out. He don't hear him out.
They push the limits of explosive power further than they'd ever gone.
So I'll give you a quick second to get your thoughts together there. That tail end, I let it play out on purpose because it has that little sample from the comic feature. But the one thing that I did forget to mention before the song started playing, and wanted to make sure that I disclosed, was that we did not listen to we did not watch the actual music video together. There is an official music video. It does add 3 minutes total time to the song. So we just listened to the normal track that you would find anywhere else on the album if you were listening to it. That being said, first thoughts.
I normally, so when I listen to rap, it seems counterintuitive, but I tend to focus on the beat more than I do on the lyrics on my first go round. But you were kind enough to provide the lyrics for me this time. So there are a couple of references that I caught that I am at least aware of that I can shout out that are probably very surface level because I don't have that quite, deep knowledge, but out for the cream. So we all about the dream. Of course, cash rules everything around me. From Shaolin to the Bean. I know that there's a lot of Shaolin imagery when it comes to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes, sir.
So those are a couple things I caught. And also, in reference to what you said before we started listening to the track, I actually really like that they provide that instrumental for anyone else who wants to sample it or perhaps just do their own rap over the beat. I feel like that's something that... I don't know enough about rap in today's day and age, but I feel like a lot of beats, unless you're a producer who's trying to get their foot in the door, most people would probably protect their beats. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree completely, because that's one of those things, like you just said, you'd want to protect that to kind of get your name out there and not let that be so easily used. But the way that these guys went through it, like they're having fun with this, and you can tell that in the lyrics too. Like you can see, like there's a lot of it seems like that's the one thing. Like when you first start out doing anything in life, that's like that art passion. You have to toe that line of like, I'm doing what I love. I don't care. I'm having fun with it. This is a good time. Once it gets commercialized, you have to worry about if it's going to sell or not, and if it's going to flop or not, and if your label's going to be happy or not. And sometimes that can kind of take the joy and love out of what you're listening to, depending on where you're at and how you're able to do that. Some people are able to power through it and have no problem, and then they get off the label, and then they get on their own, and they just do whatever they want because they're known, right? These guys are already known, so they don't even have to worry about it. They have the ability to just make what they want to make and produce it and then send it out there. So since they're kind of just having fun and doing that, they're putting it out there like that. Yeah, I think it's really fun. It kind of opens the door. It kind of leaves it the ability out there for anybody to come in and take something and have fun with it, because they are cool beats. They're a lot of fun, and like you said, like you can get wrapped up listening into them. So knowing that that actually exists too, because as we've mentioned before, you and I both like to put on some instrumentals or anything like that. This might be a good one to put on for somebody so they can go ahead and, like, if they don't want to hear the words and they just want to hear that kind of flow with the music, they can put a whole bunch of the instrumentals back to back in their own playlist and just clean the whole house and go hard. Right?
Yep. I mean, that is something that I have done. One of my favorite groups, they're not together anymore, but there was a group called Blue Sky Black Death, and they just, most of their stuff was just instrumental hip-hop beats. It tended to be more atmospheric than anything else, but they did have quite a few albums, actually, that featured rappers or vocalists, too. So that is the sort of thing that I would kind of get into, is just be like, yeah, there's something to me, like, I have dabbled in making my own beats, too, but I was going to say I'm really white, even though I'm not. Maybe, like...
I get that.
Like, I don't know. I think there's something so fascinating about it, in that they're so... A lot of times they can be so simplistic, and yet they'll sink their hooks into you.
And before I forgot, because I know that I will if I don't come in now and say it, when you were mentioning the symbolism before, I was a fan of that too. And like you mentioned, the Wu-Tang callouts with Out for the Cream and From Shaolin to the Bean. I thought that was fun. And then I also like a lot when they go into the superhero references and they're talking about Peter Parker and spider webs, and they're kind of pulling together like who he is as Spider-Man and talking about that a little bit. And there's just a lot of really smart lyrics, I guess is the best way to put it, because they're definitely referencing a lot of different things, and they're calling out different stuff that happened in life too, and like different social references. Like one of the lines on the first verse, which is Inspected Deck, he says, "I'm dirty at the Grammys, crash your glamorous affair." And that's a reference to 1998 Grammy Awards, when Old Dirty Bastard rushed the stage as Sean Colvin was preparing to give her acceptance speech for Song of the Year, and he announced that he had bought a nice outfit in anticipation of winning Best Rap Album, and expressed his disappointment with losing that award to Diddy. So he's just calling out like different random stuff that happened, and I think that's a lot of fun. Like it's a lot of fun to hear him like pull those different things out from that happened in his life when he was there and was watching stuff, and I was like, man, especially, you know, R.I.P. to Diddy. And he's not dead, but you know, at time of this recording, there's been a lot of revelations about who he is and what he did, and as a lot of people have made the unfortunate jab at a person, I guess you could say is the nicest way to go about it, and they say that he Epsteined himself.
I mean, in more ways than one.
Right, exactly. And I feel like he's going to end up going out the same way with that accidental, we didn't realize where he was in solitary confinement and somehow got the things that he needed somehow. And then also, let's rewind and get back into it, the outro sample too. Like I'm not entirely sure where that clip is from and what show it's from, but I think it's fun because like that sample will bleed into this next song on the track. So one thing about at least Czarface is self-titled album that came out in 2013 that we're referencing right now, a lot of them are from front to back. Like you should listen to them in order. They're good on their own sometimes, but the general feeling is like it is like a comic book, right? So instead of going from like page to page and frame to frame, you're going track to track to track. And a lot of them will bleed out and bleed into the other with either a sample or a theme or a part of the story. And I think that's something that's fun too. And you're not going to pick up on that listening to just this one song. But that's the reason why I made sure that we left both parts of those in and made sure I called them out now for someone that hasn't heard them before.
Yeah. And I mean, you know me pretty well. You know that I certainly appreciate a good concept album, seeing as some of my favorite bands, they're entirely a concept, i.e. Coheed and Cambria, The Deer Hunter, 21 Pilots, you know, so a good concept is something that I can truly appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's another fun thing too about it is that this is a fun concept of what they're trying to do. Yeah, exactly. Like it's fun that they're trying to put this together and they're trying to make it happen. And then one of the other things that's fun about it too is that you, as not a huge listener of rap and hip hop and all that stuff, might not notice it as much, sorry. But this came out in 2013, but it has a 1990s feel to it, where it and I don't know if I didn't even mention what year this came out before, I don't think, but I wanted to make sure I said that now, and that, it's cool. I like that. It's fun that it has, like, they made it very much have that sound, and that's kind of where they're pulling those clips from too. Like, it had that, if you grew up in the 90s and you watch Saturday morning cartoons, you know what I'm talking about with those clips, what they sound like. If you are looking them up for the first time and you do type in Czarface on Apple Music at least, you will have to look back into their albums because they have released a bunch. But the very first one it's Inspected Deck plus 7L and Esoteric equals Czarface. But they pretty much go by Czarface from there on out. And I'm pretty sure the very next album in 2015 is when... No. Yep, they do. They do bring in MF Doom at one point on that album already. So that's good. I couldn't remember how early on they brought him into the story, because this was kind of one of those things where it was supposed to be a part of that, right? Because MF Doom had existed prior to this to the supergroup, so to speak, of Czarface. And I think it's a lot of fun too. I definitely recommend, obviously, to listen to these guys and MF Doom independently or together, whichever you want to do, because of how much fun it is in the story that kind of happens, and a lot of they'll do some own ad-libs that are really fun to hear. And they also have a lot of features of a lot of really good artists that you might not listen to or might not have heard of before, or a little more like on the lesser known level. Actually, someone that I might have picked today, I was having a hard time picking an Action Bronson song because I couldn't really decide which one I wanted to put on, because he's a little more raw. A lot of his songs don't feel as finished as some of the more blockbuster hits. I don't know what attributes to that, but a lot of his stuff is still very, very good. He does still have some very top-notch hits. He is known, but a lot of his songs that are known, they're known with other people that he's on. So like one of I just said his name, one of Action Bronson's bigger songs is with Chance the Rapper. And that was because like Chance the Rapper was huge, so everyone knew about anything Chance the Rapper was doing. But Action Bronson's actually on this album too, on track 8, It's Raw. And I think it's a lot of fun hearing how they bring in different people and how those different people kind of play into their music and their vibe and like the sound that they're trying to make with this group, because they're kind of, it's a persona, right? The Czarface persona. And I don't know if that's supposed to be like, because you have the two different people rapping. So 7L and Esoteric would be the two lyricists that you'll be listening to. The first one in this track was Esoteric. I'm sorry, did I say 7L and Esoteric? I meant to say Inspected Deck and Esoteric, not 7L. 7L is the person that is doing all the tracks in the background. He's doing all the beats. He's doing all like that kind of work, the DJing work, because this is that kind of a 1990s group where they'll have the guy in the back spinning records and kind of doing what they do to make their sound with with Inspector Deck and Esoteric. And Inspector Deck went first on this track. Esoteric went second on this track. So I don't know if they're trying to do like the one voice in their head and then the other voice is what comes out, or if it's the left brain, right brain, or if it's a split personality thing. I don't know, and maybe that's something that I missed. And if somebody out there that's listening to this now and wants to interact with us on social media to tell us more about it, by all means, tell us more about the songs that we might not know ourselves, or the groups. But yeah, I don't know if it's ever covered whether this is supposed to be two different voices or one voice, the same head, what that kind of thing is too. And I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that kind of? I know I just brought it up this moment, but what would you think in that kind of situation? Like you got that one, you're trying to make that one unified voice, right? Because it's Czarface. But you have that like 3 parts to one brain, but the 2 that are speaking are, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know enough to be able to judge it, especially off of just one song. Going chronologically from what we just did last time, how, to call back to our last episode? Yeah, sure, we'll call it an episode, whatever. Where Ren had that sort of duality between Ren and Dark Ren. This could be the same sort of concept where it's like, thanks, Mary. Like you said, it could be one is the voice in the head, and then the second is the voice that's actually verbalizing what the people are hearing. Now, that sounds kind of weird because obviously as the listener we're hearing both, but you would get that sort of internal thought, internal dialogue versus external dialogue.
Yeah, and that's something that happens in rap sometimes too, or like any other kind of case too. Like when you're watching one of these movies or TV shows, and like the supervillain is talking to themselves, and they're talking to themselves in one way, and then when someone comes in, they talk a different way, right? Like you'll have that like I don't know the right way to describe it right now, so I apologize, but they'll have like that, like the monologuing. They're monologuing. That's the word I was looking for. So like they're either monologuing to themselves or they're monologuing to their audience, and depending on who that is.
Well, I mean, in any case, it would be the audience, us as the audience, but it could also be the audience as, how villains always do that thing where they capture the hero and then they must expound and have a soliloquy about, and this is how I captured you and how I'm going to defeat you, Batman, or whoever the hell they've captured in that moment.
Yes, exactly. And I want to say too, judging on the chorus, I'm going to guess that this is the villain. Because the chorus is, he just air him out, he don't hear him out. Yeah. So that tells me he kills them. He doesn't listen to what they have to say.
He just airs them out. Doesn't matter what they say.
Yep. Oh, that's nice.
Bang, bang.
And then also too, if you did search up Czarface yourself later because you didn't want to listen to, you didn't have to change out and go to listen to the song, rather watch the video. If you do see the album artwork, you can see that I would imagine that very front and center, that would be Czarface himself there with the laser eyes that is melting the police officer. Right? I'm assuming you still have the stream open and you're looking at the album art, but I would assume that would be a bad guy if he is melting a police officer with his laser eyes.
I don't know, man. It's 2025. Let's not take any political stances.
Fair. You're right. One thing I did want to say, that this song has a very similar feel as MOP, Ante Up. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. If you're not familiar with that song, maybe we can make a...
It sounds familiar, but it might be one of those things where it's like, as soon as I hear it, I'll be like, oh yeah, totally, I definitely know that, but offhand, I can't say that I do.
Yeah, I would agree that that's most likely the case. And if anyone of our listeners isn't familiar with it, you can go ahead and listen to that next. It is MOP, Anti Up. It does have a similar sound. It's fun. It kind of has that same, like, that energy to it. And that's like the one thing that I would describe about this is like this is a very good song, as is Anti Up, for one of those you're trying to get yourself fired up to do something, or if you did play sports and you had that, like, that hype CD. I don't know what people do now because I'm old, and we made we made CDs for everything, and we made a playlist on that CD and burned it, and we're like, yeah, this song's gonna make us win today. If you know, if you were building that kind of a track list for something, this would be featured on it, and it would sit right next to Annie Up. And the fun thing about Anti Up is that it's a song that came out, I want to say, in the 90s. Let me find out when that song actually came out right now. I can do that if you're doing anything.
Yeah, go for it. I think nowadays, well, I mean, it's the same concept. You just make a playlist on whatever your streaming services of choice. It doesn't have quite as much of a personal touch as making a mix CD or, God forbid, a mix cassette, showing our age at this point. But I still definitely enjoy making playlists. I make concept playlists and things like that, so.
Yeah, I want to say that this Annie Up came out in the late 90s, maybe 2000 at the earliest, or the latest rather, because I'm seeing it with a remix in 2000, and I think I saw it on a movie. Yeah, it was on a movie playlist that came out in 2003, so it was probably a few years old by the time that one came out. But yeah, I would say 2000, maybe 99, because if they're making remixes of it during 2000, that also makes sense. But there's just so many versions of it on iTunes. Like, I'm I'm counting at least like 20 anti-ups with different people on it or different people covering it. So I can't say for sure when the first one came out, but for a song that came out in 2013 that was trying to have that vibe and that feeling of 90s rap, and this coming out in that area, it just, to me, it says like, yeah, clearly they hit the nail on the head. Oh, I will comfortably say that it came out in 2000 or 2001. No, it definitely came out in 2000 because we said before it was on all the 2000 remixes, because it's featured on some hip hop essentials from the 2000s. So either it came out so late in 99 and became super popular in 2000, or came out in 2000 itself. And that was the song I was talking that it sounded like MOP Anti Up. But yeah, Air 'Em Out by Czarface has that same feeling as those 90s bops, if you will. Yeah, I think that has about done it for what I have to say about Czarface and this song. Because, I mean, again, I would highly recommend watching the actual music video because it's there and it's 3 extra minutes long. So clearly they took their time and made an actual theatrical piece out of it. And knowing that it's about, well, we don't know what it's about. We know what they rap about, but we don't know what they're going to make the music video about. And I kind of want to see what it's going to look like myself because I've never watched it, full disclosure. So yeah, I'm probably going to check it out after this just because I haven't and I want to see what it is. But I would say listen to any kind of, if you're interested in Czarface, I picked up with them from the very first album and I listened through till about their third or fourth album. I kind of picked up as soon as they came out. I was listening to them and just kind of like binging them because I became pretty obsessed with them for a little bit. Just, I really liked their sound. I really liked what they were doing. I really liked the feeling that they were doing, and I kind of like that they were kind of paying homage to the 90s, I guess you could say, but they're still coming out with stuff as of December of this past year. So they're very active. And like I was saying before, if you search them on iTunes, you have to go into their albums to find them because there are so many versions of it. Or no, actually, they don't even have the instrumental versions here listed, which is crazy. Yeah, and there's still like 5, 10, 15. There's about 18. There's only maybe one or two. Oh, there's 2 instrumental versions currently listed, I think. But those aren't even. I know there's more because I've seen the other ones as well. So you can definitely find them. And that's if you wanted them for any reason at all, like to rap over them yourself, or if you wanted to create your own mashup, you can have the underbeat of this song and mash it up with something else, which that might be fun to do too. If you can find 90s lyrics that match up with this, like you can probably mash up Annie up and air 'em out just because of how similar they are already, which I think is pretty fun. And maybe that's something we'll have to do for funsies. You have to show me how, and I'll do it. Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to say about Czarface or the song after hearing them for the first time today?
I I have been aware of like the whole, I guess I'll say, like superhero, supervillain concept in rap, mostly due to MF Doom. So I didn't know that this project existed, to be honest with you. But hearing that they exist and knowing that they have also linked up with MF Doom, it just makes a lot of sense. And it's something that I think I would definitely be interested in checking out, because I have been meaning to check out MF Doom's discography. Maybe not the entire thing, but, you know, just dabble in it and check it out. And knowing that this is linked to it, I think it'd be cool to see how they play off of each other in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, and I forgot to mention, so they do have MF Doom featured on some songs. But for some reason, I don't know, I'm gonna guess maybe the story, they didn't technically whatever. There's an album in 2018, Czarface meets Metalface, and that's MF Doom. So I don't know if they knew, like maybe they knew each other existed throughout this, and then that's kind of like a meets in the sense of they're gonna fight, because that would make sense, right? In the comic book sense, because I think they wouldn't say like, oh, Spider-Man gets his butt kicked by Doc Ock. You know, it's like Spider-Man meets a new threat. You know, like they don't want to. They allude to it. They want to draw you in. They want to make you. Yeah, so I think that's fun, and yeah, I would agree. It would definitely be fun to go in and kind of look at this, and then also see where MF Doom's album releases line up with these album releases, because I kind of wonder if maybe they talk about each other a little bit, but not in like a rap battle sense, in like they want to fight each other, but like in like they know each other exists kind of sense.
Yeah, in a sort of we're just name dropping each other kind of way.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's something that I'm very interested. So I didn't know too much about superhero rap personas and that kind of thing existing in this kind of a sense until I realized that they were interlinked, because I knew about MF Doom, like you mentioned before, and then until I found out about Czarface, which was much later. I didn't find out about them until 2018, maybe. Yeah, it was probably right around 2018, 2019. And that's when I started listening to both of them a lot. And that's when I went backwards and listened to the Czarface self-titled and Every Hero Needs a Villain and Czarface meets Metalface. But yeah, I would say it is overwhelming with the amount that's there.
Yeah.
I would agree. Going back and listening to some of these would definitely be fun, or like remember that they exist, or if they didn't, if you didn't know they existed before, welcome. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you listen to them again. I hope you find them in one day and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to put this on and see what happens and see where this playlist leads. It won't be bad.
Yeah, that's me. That's going to be me. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go ahead and cultivate your own playlist of this one, and then throw a little MF Doom in there too, by all means, it'll go well together too. But yeah, if you're a fan of smart lyrics and little puns and call outs, there's lots that go on and on and on for this, and you can listen to it many times and catch new ones. So yeah, this has been Air 'Em Out by Czarface. So if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. Like this page, like this episode, tell somebody about us. Right? Word of mouth.
Do all the things that you're supposed to do to spread the word about things these days.
Yeah, tell your friends about the feedback. That's right, because important long-winded information and ADHD don't mix. But I hope if you've made it to this point, you like what Scoobs and I are doing, and hopefully you like it so much you want to shout it from the top of a mountain.
but it would be a whole lot more helpful if you told your friends about us instead. Word of mouth or listening with someone is our favorite, but social media is also great, and you can interact with us there too. So please come by our Instagram, Blue Sky, or Facebook, where you can find us as The Feedback, or on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter /X, at @thefeedback_PC, to see what's coming next, suggest a song, talk about our latest episode, or just talk about anything.
That's right. And hey, if this particular episode wasn't your cup of tea, we're kind of all over the place. So, like, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, I already know what I've picked for next week. And next episode. And it's going to be, you know, we're crossing the streams here, which I know they said you're not supposed to do, but then how would they have defeated Vigo the Carpathian?
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta break the rules. They're made for a reason, right?
Damn it, it wasn't Vigo. It was Zool. Vigo was the slime. I'm sorry, Ghostbusters nerds.
And other nerds.
Yeah. At least I corrected myself.
Very early on, you didn't have to go back and make an excerpt to put in front of an episode like somebody else did.
Yeah, that's right.
I just had something and now I forget.
Did it have to do with Ghostbusters?
I think it had to do with something just before that. Oh, I remember. You said that it's all over the place. That triggered. Just like us, our taste in music and our ability to stay on track, it's all over the place.
Yeah, both of those things. That's very true.
But yeah, it fits for us, right?
Yeah, case in point, we tried to end this episode like 5 times, and we're still going.
We did.
So,
we did.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you. Steven already said all the stuff about social media and sharing and all that, so this is going to be our official sign-off. Otherwise, we'll just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening to The Feedback. Join us next time to see what else we dig up. Goodbye!
I'm good to go.
As am I.
Yay! Whipbacks and spiders. You gotta go back. I got so distracted and so... Oh my god, I started reading something and it was just like I'm so lost. I'm gonna back it up and talk about the call-outs again in a second. Jesus,
No problem.
That was terrible. You can feel the medicine wearing off and it's like, yay!